Hey, Theathers, thank you so much for joining us in today's special episode of Hither and Tither. Unlike many of our other episodes where we try to be funny and we try to be super lively, um, I think this episode calls for a little bit more. Two words that I can think of are honor and respect. Because today we remember the events of September 11th, and I want to cry already.
I know, same. I keep blinking. I totally keep blinking.
Yeah, we get to celebrate the events of September 11th, 2001. And Yo and I had the opportunity to visit New York this past summer, and we got to visit where the towers stood and the memorials that are there in its place today.
Yeah, it was so interesting to hear some of the stories of people because I didn't have any relatives or anything like that, but it definitely did affect me just being alive for it and
Mm-hmm.
seeing the panic that ensued because of that moment, right? Like historical moment. And it was just so interesting to be there and to hear the stories of all these other people that actually did have their worlds just, flip upside down. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, this is such a tender and emotional topic for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting to talk to like my younger friends that are like in their early 20s and they're like, "Oh yeah, we read about that in the history books." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wow."
Mm-hmm.
Like we definitely were alive for that and we were young. We were young.
Mm-hmm.
We were in second grade. Sorry, we were in second grade. Don't do the math. Um, we were in second grade and we I mean, I just remember that the teachers brought in the TVs and they started turning them on to the news. And then a lot of kids started getting picked up from school. My mom did eventually pick me up from school, but I think my mom wasn't super panicked. But as I think the biggest way that it impacted my family was when we came to the States, my mom got offered a job in the area, and that was around the time that all of our immigration processes were happening. And so, I guess while all of that was going on, it really put a hold on all of our
Mm-hmm.
visas and all of our stuff. So I think that's the biggest way that it impacted my family. But I can't imagine losing someone to that tragic
Yeah.
event.
Yeah. It's so crazy because like you said, even though we were very young at that age, or at that time, it's very like it's something that I've never been able to forget. It's something that I still have very near and dear to my heart because I I do remember being in class, kind of the same as you. We had gone to lunch and then we came back and the TVs were on. And this was like weird because we don't usually ever watch TV. But the TV was on and it was very obvious that my teacher had been crying. Um, and as we came and sat down, despite the fact that we were young, there was silence. And I think that's so telling of the situation because even today, that's how we remember it, right? Um, if I'm not mistaken, the moment of silence that we do at school after we do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge, and it's just a lot of the kids don't understand that. Nowadays, they don't understand that. And so I just think that it's such an important part of us trying to share that and remind others the importance of that moment. I also didn't know because again we were so young, but I also didn't know that TSA didn't exist before that. And so that's just something that as I've gotten older, it's something that I've been I've connected the dots in so many things.
Yeah. I remember I watched like certain episodes of like old TV shows like Friends or stuff like that, and people like their love interest, they could just like stop them right at the gate before they can get
Yeah.
on their plane or whatever, you know? So I always thought watching them, I was like, those are so unrealistic. Like, you can't do that. Like, you would have to go
Hmm.
through TSA, but you didn't used to have to do that. So when those TV shows were
Yeah.
recorded, you could, like, that was a
That
thing.
was real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for us, it's been, I mean, I don't think I had ever taken, and even if I had taken a plane before that, I don't think I would remember. But yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
I ever
no.
actually took a plane until I was like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Um, but as I've gotten older too, I've met a lot of people that have a bigger connection to that. And I also find that I had a roommate actually who told me that her parents were supposed to be on that plane. And I think she mentioned something about having to go to the pharmacy. They had to go to the pharmacy to pick up some meds. She had gotten sick right before they boarded the plane, and them taking that trip to the pharmacy resulted in them missing the flight that eventually crashed into one of the towers. And it's just so crazy because even though there was a lot of people who missed it, because I know there's a lot of stories like that. There was a lot of people who missed it and weren't there. There was a lot of people who did. A lot of people who did end up losing their lives. Um, and listening to the videos or listening to some of the calls um, that people placed while they were on those towers, it's just so heartbreaking.
It is
So
so
heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. Um, you know this about us, but like I love conspiracy theories, but that's one where I kind of draw the line. I don't really like to look into conspiracy theories on that one.
Yeah.
Just for personal reasons, like I don't know. I just feel like it's a little,
Yeah.
again, it doesn't, people don't have to feel like this about it, but I find it a little disrespectful because of who I am, right? Like
Yeah.
my personality just can't do that
Hmm.
to somebody's loved one. Like
Right.
just look into why they died or why this happened or why that. But sometimes it's people's jobs to do those kinds of investigations, right? So like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but
I agree with you that despite the fact of whether it may have been an inside job or whatever it may have been, the reality is that it happened, and again, people lost their lives due to it, and I think that deserves a lot of respect. And
mhm.
so, for me, being in the classroom still as an adult, that is something that I really try to hone in on my kids. You know that is a very special moment to reflect on all the people who have died and all the people who have given their lives, right? Because not only the people who were in the towers lost their
Right.
lives, it was, first responders and people who bravely gave their lives for those people. So I don't want, I don't think we want to make this episode very long, but we did want to take some time to just say thank you,
Hmm.
um, to give some respect and show our love and support for all those families who may have lost somebody, or all those families who were hurt or um, still have some trauma because of what happened back then.
Yeah, and also to remind people because I do feel like as time goes, like, you know, it's the always remember,
Mm-hmm.
but like we have to also always remind people because we do tend to forget these kinds of
Yeah.
situations. And as generations get older, everyone forgets the feelings that actually happened that day.
Mm-hmm. So tonight, before you go to bed, just say thank you because we're here today. And that is thanks to a lot of people who gave their life.
And also make sure that you tell your family that you love them. You just never know what kind of situation you're getting
You don't know
into
what
at
the
the
day
end of
brings.
yeah, you just don't know like you just don't know other people's choices throughout the days. So Just make sure you love your loved ones and are kind, you know? Always
Make
be
good
humble and
choices.
kind. Yes, make good choices.
Thank you for joining us, Teethers. Have a great rest of your day.
Adios.